Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go.
Gaming, tech, culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 11 of the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. I'm Jules. I'm joined by Justice.
Hello.
Why you say it like that?
I was trying to shoot a drag in the head.
All right. We have a few things to discuss. So let's begin. Google Stadia is launching soon. I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to get my hands on it, to understand it and learn it.
Have you gotten any notifications on shipping or anything yet?
I have not gotten any notification on shipping other than they updated everybody and said, hey guys, guess what? You might not get it on November 9th. Or it's the 19th. When is he?
I thought it was the 9th.
On the 9th. They said that those things will be shipping in first come, first serve order based on when you place your order.
Oh, and how does one know where they fall on this list?
That I don't know. I know I ordered it pretty quickly once it was available. So I will try to update you with my personal status. I really don't know how else you would know.
That's really messed up. They could at least have like a list for people somewhere saying, hey, if you ordered on this date, you'll get it this date. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right. See, here's the thing with Google, and it's a concern. I will admit this. Even though I'm very excited about Stadia and what it could possibly be, Google is known for just being like, hey, we have this great new idea.
Yeah.
Here's the beta.
What you think?
It's going to be in beta for 6 years. I would like to point everyone to Google Maps, which has been around for 15 years or so at this point. That joint might still be in beta.
You know what they did, right?
What did they do?
So since, as similar to what you're saying, they had Google Maps and that dire state it was that nobody was using and everyone just started using Waze. They just bought Waze and was like, you know what? We'll just use your shit for a long time and then start updating our shit with your shit.
Which at this point is funny to me now when people be like, oh, Waze is so much better. I'm like, you realize they're the same now. Like ain't no difference. That your little speed trap here, you know, all that stuff that you got in Waze. Guess what Google Maps does and is using the same data.
Oh, they just did that.
I know, but I'm just saying it's exactly the same now. And I still believe I'm sure somebody can actually look it up. It wouldn't surprise me if both of those joints are technically still in beta.
Well, Waze was never in beta. Waze was already
finished. They just left Waze the way it was? Okay.
Yeah, they left Waze the way it was. And actually, they updated Waze a lot more than Maps, which is so crazy.
I think they probably had to bring a lot from Maps into Waze. I honestly feel like they got stuff from each other for sure. I know that. Now,
yeah,
Google Maps, I know got a lot probably got more from what Waze was doing. But I mean, that's why they bought Waze. That's specifically why they bought them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Stadia could end up being similar, where technically it's in beta until they buy Sony and end up doing whatever they end up doing with it. Either way, I'm still excited about it. I know that there are growing concerns. I know, for example,
such as
somebody went to an article I read, the writer was allowed to go to like a Google Stadia event and play some of the games. For the most part, he was satisfied, but he said he did notice that he could tell when there was a change in quality based on the internet speed. And the reason he was concerned about it is because he was like, this is a Google event where it's meant to show off Google Stadia. So if I can see the quality changing while I'm playing and I'm at this event, how is that going to be when I'm just at home on my fickle Wi-Fi?
Mm-hmm. Baby up there playing Peppa Pig on Netflix.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you went from 4K 120 frames to 1080p at 45 or whatever. I don't know. And you can just see that difference happen while you're playing the game. It might be a little jarring for people. So that's going to be a thing I'm curious about seeing. Additionally, at launch, you will only be able to use the Stadia wireless controller as a wireless controller if you are streaming from Chromecast. If you try to use it with like just your TV or just a computer or a PC or whatever else, it will need to be attached by a USB-C cable.
But I thought they had already announced that.
They may have. I honestly don't know. I'm really going off of just reports that I'm seeing now.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm just saying that is a concern for people because, it is being touted as it's supposed to. This is what the article said. I personally don't really agree with this, but they were saying it like, oh, Google is pitching this thing as console-less gaming, like you don't need a console, but I need a console for it to actually be wireless or to not have to connect the controller to anything.
Yeah. I mean, they say that about games nowadays being digital and that you can actually still own the game when you don't own the game. So this is semantics to me.
Semantics cropping up for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next concern. It is a streaming service. So there are some concerns that, hey, one, obviously I'm not buying the physical games. So even if I decide, to forego like the $9.99 a month that comes with a bunch of free games included, and I'm just buying each game individually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying $69.99 or $59, I think it will be the price, to get Destiny instead of the $9.99 a month to join the subscription and get it for free. What happens if Google says, you know what? Fuck it. We quit. What happens to the games that I bought with my money that I own? It's a concern. Guess what? You lose them. This is what I have to say about games that we have now. Guess what happens to most of those games if Sony says, hey, you know what? PSN, we quit. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Or Xbox says, hey, Xbox Live, we quit. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Google addresses this by saying that Stadia is not a product that they will give up on, but they do leave the caveat, of course. I mean, it is a business. They leave the caveat saying unless something uncharacteristically catastrophic were to happen, it's not something that they would just give up on.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, they're trying to say that to allay concerns. I don't know. I think a lot of the concerns are valid, but I personally feel like they are concerns that you already deal with when you're talking about gaming in this day and age.
Or should have if you don't.
If it is a concern for you, truly, it's something that you should have already been concerned with, however you play games.
And to that point, I'm going to just kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If you do buy the game, given that you bought the game for Google Stadia or whatnot, I would think that this is just me. This would be a developer issue, whether or not that they would make the call on, hey, this is an experimental thing. If this does happen, what should we do for customers that have some sort of backup plan in mind or ready to go for that, so that these people will still have access to something that I'm doing air quotes, you can't see them, but I'm doing it, paid for and own. So that's just my opinion there.
Yeah. Okay. Which leads me to the next concern. This one I think is just kind of like, man, chill out, bruh. Everybody who signed up for the Google Founders Edition will have the ability to gift 3 months of the subscription service for free to a friend.
Okay.
Google hasn't said anything about it, but deep in the terms and conditions, it says that 3 months may not, well, it doesn't even say that it may not be available. It says that it can take up to 6 months before you actually have the ability to give that to somebody.
Okay.
I'm with you on that one. It's like, all right, that's cool. It's a mail-in rebate. Great. I'm giving somebody something for free. Chill out.
Yeah.
I need to chill.
Not to be mean or anything, but I kind of bought it for me, not necessarily give it somebody else.
And you know what? I just thought about something. Since our group of friends bought it, I think somebody should have just gave it to me for free instead of me actually having to pay the subscription from the jump. I'm willing to buy my own controller, but maybe you or other friends.
I already have a second controller coming.
And that's really disappointing that you I want everybody on the Cool Black Nerd podcast to know somehow somebody got a controller for free and just didn't tell nobody nothing. But whatever, we're going to let that ride. Probably got the cool wasabi green color too. Just got 2 different color controllers coming, just SMH.
I don't remember which one it was. I think it is a green one. There's like green and white, right?
Yeah, I think there's green and white. And then if you got the Founders Edition, it's going to be like that navy blue, that matte blue and orange, which I mean, to me, looks really nice. That one looks
the best. Yeah, it looks the best to me. But my thought was for gifting it would be to gift it to a listener.
Oh.
But you have to be subscribed to the Cool Black Nerd podcast and or Say What Radio and or Life as P and following and or Say What Radio on Instagram, Facebook, same as Cool Black Nerd or P Wrights, who is the host of Life is P. But that's me.
I mean, it sounds like a contest or, a giveaway that I can support.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
So that wasn't the official announcement, guys. That was just the beta. I want you to know, taking a page out of Google's book, that is the beta for the contest. We will let you know when that finally goes gold and becomes official.
Yes. I can't stand you.
I'm just, hey, all right, so, bad business, Bethesda, they're back at it again.
These boys can't stay out of trouble.
Fallout 76, it's just had a lot of issues. We've already gone through all of the issues before. Now there's a new one. They've started a new subscription service. It allows you to have private worlds, which is just like, private lobby, let's say, for you and your friends to run around and cause some mayhem in the fantastic world of Fallout 76.
You get a fast travel option. Get scrap boxes.
Scrap boxes meaning just in-game materials that you get, you get some materials every month.
So in Fallout, as you're doing certain things, kind of like when you're doing either Minecraft or even if you've played Resident Evil, you have to craft some stuff in some of these games, just depending on the game. So when you're out looking for materials in the world, you can't always hold this stuff. You need to put it somewhere, so they would put what they have in these scrap boxes and then come back to be able to get it later. Basically like that. People were asking for these types.
It's more storage space.
For the most part, people were asking for these things from Bethesda, thinking they would be part of the game. Every single one of these items that they've put into this subscription service for $13 a month or $100 a year.
Yeah, $100 a year. Yep.
Was something that the community asked for, and they turned around and then monetized it.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff are things that they should have just been in the game from the beginning.
Yes.
Again, there's the right way and a wrong way to monetize your game. And this is definitely one of the wrong ways, again. And it even gets worse than that. The worlds that they have are actually unfinished. The private match type of deal, like it doesn't work the way that people wanted it to work.
Thinking that it would work.
Thinking that it would. One of the challenges is you're supposed to be able to add up to 7 people. Right now, if you add more than 2, it crashes. Why would I want to... Or why would I want to do that? Why would I want a private world in a game like Fallout 76 that's not like a competitive first-person shooter? It's supposed to be me against the world. Like, I'm going to want more than
7.
Than 2. I'm going to want more than 2. I'm probably going to want more than 7 to fill up just this big-ass world. Like, what am I going to do? Fallout 76, it's like World of Warcraft. I want to go in and create a raid instance in this big ass game. World of Warcraft, I wish you would try to do a raid with 7 people. See what the hell happens.
He's stupid.
I'm just saying it because it's like that. Out in the world, they have enemies. See like 20, 30, 40 people shooting this big dragon mutant looking thing in Fallout 76. And it takes them like 3 hours to kill it. But now you telling me, oh, we're going to let you get your private server off for $100 a year or $13 a month. And you can invite 7 of your friends.
But what I love also, about the deleting stuff too, right?
Oh, I don't know about it deleting things.
Oh, what?
It doesn't surprise me. They might have, if it's deleting stuff, they might as well delete that whole game.
So I don't know what's worse, the fact that people actually pay good money for this or the fact that Bethesda had the gall to put this out. So people who did go ahead and buy this, as you said, they had the problems with the servers. Mind you that the servers actually do not stay on. It's not like you have things that are running while you're off of it. As soon as you leave this private server, the server shuts down. If you have your 2 people or the 7 people, whatever, however many people you can get on there, and then one of those people does not have the subscription to it, server shuts down while the people are in there.
So not only do I have the subscription for me to have this private world, and I invite my 7 friends because, oh man, I'm going to fill it up, me and all 7 of my friends. If one of the 7 does not also have the subscription, it's just done. It's like, you know what, guys, everybody's not paying. No freeloaders around here. So
pretty much
go ahead and shut this thing down.
But on top of that, just as the scrap boxes that we were talking about, if you use them, you go back to them, your stuff is gone. In the beginning, Bethesda was saying, oh, it's just a UI glitch. It looks as though you're losing stuff, but you're not. As of, I think it was 7:00 Eastern time or whatever, they were like, yeah, we found a problem.
We found a problem. We found a loophole. We found a hole where all of your scrap items are falling into.
While you're fighting off the apocalypse, we just want to let you know. Yeah, you lost it. You had a hole in your bag, in your scrap box. There was a hole. My bad.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. Call of Duty comes out this month. In fact, I think it's out yesterday.
Yes.
Or maybe today, or maybe like early this morning. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know much about Call of Duty. It is being published by Activision as usual. I am saying be on the lookout. I'm not telling you not to buy the game because I do like some Call of Duty games. I like the fast-paced action. I understand that there's a huge market for that. I want you guys to be careful. I want you to wait on the reviews to come out because...
Well, I don't even know if that matters now because...
I know it may not, but just do your best to be as educated as you can. Know what you are getting into before you buy this game.
Yeah.
It's basically what I'm saying. And hey, for those of you that are fans that you know exactly what you get into, more power to you.
Yes.
I am just saying be careful because
they've been known to be some tricky.
We've seen that these things are getting worse with some of these publishers, especially some of the larger publishers like Bethesda, like 2K Games, like EA, like Activision. They're starting to get egregious, guys, and they are tricky. They will, in some cases, not introduce these things until the games have been out for a couple of these monetization schemes until the games have been out for a couple of weeks or maybe even a month so that they can get good reviews. And then a surprise, all that good shit. Oh, it costs money now.
Surprise mechanics.
Yeah. Oh, you got to pay extra for that.
Well, I mean, at least they don't ban you and take your money for being for human rights and all, but you know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We'll just kind of gloss over that. If you want to look it up, just look up Blizzard and Blitzchung. I think people have done it to death. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So much going on in the world of gaming. It's very exciting. What we do want to talk about now, next month, something else is also going to launch that I'm very excited for. Disney Plus is coming.
I cannot believe how excited. Some of the Apple TV shows, I will say, I do want to see, but
don't say some because it's probably all because you know it's only like 4.
Oh, I've only seen 2. I didn't know. Okay, I've only seen 2. My bad.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I would say you're probably excited for all of them. Then, if you're excited for more than one, you can just say all because it ain't that many. They do look good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Apple streaming is coming. Apple TV. Man, streaming war is about to heat up, y'all. They're about to get real hot and heavy out here in these streets with these streams.
Are you worried about like streaming overload? Do you feel like kind of overwhelmed with all the choices now?
For me, not yet. I think that is coming. Because right now, what are we talking about? We're talking about Hulu, talking about Netflix, talking about
CBS Access.
Okay, now see CBS Max. I don't know about all that. HBO Max. HBO Max, I think, is going to be dead in the water because HBO Max, as far as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, HBO Max is TV without HBO, but it's called HBO Max.
Something like
They're going to have shows that are pretty much available otherwise, but not the shows that are only available on HBO. I don't really understand what the plan is with that. I think that's probably going to end up getting rolled into whichever company actually owns HBO now. I think it's AT&T, whatever.
Warner,
yeah, whatever.
AT&T, I'm sorry, AT&T.
Yeah, whatever streaming service they actually end up coming out with, I think that'll be the one to rule them all. Like I know they have DirecTV now, which is kind of not working, but I think they're going to figure something out since they have all of these properties now.
They bought, was it Big Bang and Friends, or was that Peacock?
I think that's Peacock.
Which is another one. Like, seriously?
That's NBC.
NBC,
man. NBC, man. Why didn't y'all just call that thing NBC Now or NBC
Forever?
Plus?
I don't care.
You didn't have to go with Peacock. I mean, I give you points for trying to separate yourself. But Peacock, I know it's the logo, man, but sometimes there's something to be said for simplicity yourself from being a meme. Like you didn't have to oh my goodness, man, I can't even think. I remember I was in college, they were thinking about renaming the school. I can't remember exactly what the name was, but the acronym spelled out something that was close to it was like South Texas University. South Texas University sounds good, right? Until you realize we have a police department. So they would be South Texas University Police Department, STUPD. We don't want that to even be an option for you to make a joke. So we're taking South Texas off the table. So Peacock, you should have just took that off the table. Like the jokes for that going to write themselves. There better be no flaws with that streaming service if that's going to be the name you rock with. But back to the ones that are coming out next month. Disney Plus, man. I'm excited. I'm about to stream as many episodes of That's So Raven as I can. All the episodes of, I think, Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, damn.
Man, it's about to go down.
Phineas and Ferb was a shit though.
Yeah. Along with all the stuff that I'm actually excited about, all of those shows that are coming from Marvel, the shows that are coming like extending the Star Wars universe.
They already got some reviews on The Mandolin already.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm.
Are they good?
So far.
Oh, that's good. I was a little concerned the way you said it. I was like, oh, she's about to crush my dreams.
I'm sorry. No,
I thought,
so far,
man,
yeah.
I'm so ready for Disney Plus. Apple TV, I mean, people like it. I don't know if that one's going to be for me.
But yeah, it just seems a lot.
Guys, I'm pleasantly surprised with DC Universe, but I just don't know that I could tell people to pay for that. Because it's just not a lot there, man. It's not a lot there.
For that,
there are benefits and perks to being friends with people. And I suggest if you don't have friends, I suggest everybody go get friends.
How about you just say there are benefits to being part of the Say What Radio Network? Let's just say that.
There's definitely benefits and perks to being part of the Say What Radio Network. And I just want to thank, I guess, my benefactor who I don't know if that person wants to remain anonymous.
Yeah,
but they can. Okay, if they want to. And I appreciate it. Titans is a great show. Swamp Thing. I thought they canceled Swamp Thing after the first episode and I figured that meant the show was trash.
That show is
not trash at all.
At all.
It was actually really well done.
Really good show.
And it was different. Man, Swamp Thing had like a sort of a horror movie vibe in this TV series. And it was really well done. It was really good. The stories were great. The characters were great. Even the CGI was great. And DC CGI usually is just garbage. It was all good. I don't know why that show, I do know why that show got canceled. Got canceled because there were some tax issues in North Carolina. Politicians need to stay out these streaming services. But whatever. Oh my goodness. I'm just ready. I'm ready for it. I need Disney Plus in my life. But as you said, is there a concern if these streaming services are getting out of control? Yeah, for now they are. Potentially for some people. Somebody like me, not so much because, I've already cut the cord pretty much. TV that I am watching is streaming anyway.
Well,
but for some people, that's not the case. Go ahead.
I think it's more along the lines of most people cut the cord because it was so overwhelming for the stuff that they were being given and they weren't necessarily watching it. And I'm thinking that that's kind of what is going to happen again with these streaming services because you have all of these things that you want to watch in different places.
Yeah, you're going to need more than one service. I think for me, the streaming service is the closest to what I personally feel like would be the dream TV situation is where I just pay for exactly what I want. And I know that these companies are snapping up rights to all of this different stuff. So
that's not going to happen anytime soon.
You're probably not going to have one to rule all. But to me, it's still better than me spending $130 a month on a cable package. And I have ESPN that I watch. I have the Discovery Channel. I have Fox Sports. And I have NFL Red Zone that I watch. And then everything else is just kind of like, eh. I feel like, honestly, for most people, you have maybe 10 to 15 channels at the most that you watch. And you probably have Netflix to supplement everything else or Hulu.
Yeah.
Right. And you have now 270 channels in your TV package that are basically useless to you. And so there's no reason that you should be paying that much for it. And I think streaming services are going to end up being the answer. But they're going to be an imperfect answer.
Yeah. The days of Netflix where that was pretty much what you just had and you watched everything on it are over. They got too big and made everyone see, hey, there's just too much money we're giving up.
Yeah, which was always the case, which is why you started seeing recently. I think Netflix saw that coming. So I think it's good that, they started years ago with their original content because that's going to be the only thing that keeps Netflix alive once a lot of this stuff disappears from their services. So one thing I am also saying like, hey, good job, Netflix. They're starting to pick up the rights to specific TV shows that have like a core fan base, maybe not enough where a true network wanted to continue that show.
Yes.
But they've got hundreds of thousands of people who are like dedicated fans of these shows. So they're picking them up and continuing shows that have been canceled. So something like for me, Designated Survivor, one of my favorite shows. And I know it may not have actually been that popular for most people, but that's just an example for me personally of a show that definitely got canceled. Probably should have been canceled by the network that it was on because I don't think it was as successful for them, but has enough core fans for somebody to say, hey, you know what? I'll pay $15 a month for everything Netflix offers and to be able to watch that show that I want to keep watching.
That I think is pretty damn good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because, they did that with Lucifer. They did that, as you said, Designated Survivor. There were a few other shows that they did that with too. So yeah.
Oh yeah. You're a fan of Lucifer. So actually, we probably represent the perfect example. Lucifer, I think, is a horrible show, and I think it should have been canceled. But you love it.
Yes, I do.
So we both have Netflix for shows that I like one, you like the other one, and it is what it is.
Pretty much.
All right, what is next?
So you gonna snuggle up with someone as you're watching your Disney Plus?
I mean, maybe. It's quite possible that I'll snuggle up with someone.
Will they be from work?
You want to know where I really stand on that situation?
I really do.
Okay, I think it's possible that they could be from work. Now, for those of you who work with me that listen to the podcast, I'm not specifically talking about anyone at this moment, so don't get excited. I'm just saying that we use this as another slick segue into the next topic. Millennials at work in the Me Too movement. I think it might be best for you to actually introduce this.
Okay. So there was an article that was, I can't remember the magazine, forgive me, but basically it was saying nowadays, you know, we've had the Me Too movement. There's been a lot of education and awareness brought to a lot of women being in uncomfortable situations, a lot of men being in uncomfortable situations at work or put in surroundings where they felt like they had to choose their job over their preference sexually for the most part. Honestly, it is something to say that maybe the pendulum has swung just a little bit too far to the other side, whereas everyone knows when you're doing any sort of socializing or whatnot, or even if you're just around other people for longer periods of time, certain feelings and things can occur. So a lot of people back in the day would meet their spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends at work. But is that something that it can happen now, since a lot of companies are tightening down on fraternizing at work because of stuff like the Me Too movement? But there are so many millennials that are wanting to like buck the trend, so to speak, and are kind of like, well, you can't tell me what to do. I feel empowered to be able to have the choice to do what I want to do with someone at work. If I want to hook up with them, I hook up with them. But the pendulum swings to the other side where the women are saying this and the men are kind of like, nah, I don't want to lose my job. I'm not going to happy hour with them. I'm not looking at them. I don't want your tape, Susan. I will put gum on the wall and stick this. Just no. Of course, they've always kind of done those trainings where, you know, don't fraternize work, don't do this to make someone feel uncomfortable. But they've ramped it up where a lot of the times they have to do this monthly. And also where it is, the men have also said when they are interested in women, like they don't know how to approach it for fear of retaliation or it being seen incorrectly by the woman.
Right, exactly. Trevor Noah, I think, had a really good example of this. He was talking about, you know, they had to take those trainings as well, I guess, with Comedy Central. And he was saying that, you know, he started talking to his production staff about it a little bit. And one of them is married to someone who also works for the same company. And he was just asking, he was like, so, I mean, I know you guys are married, but how did that happen? Like, you know, especially in an environment where we're trying to keep everything professional, Me Too movement, we don't want to offend anybody. And he said she was almost gushing about how he would flirt with her at work. He would leave stuff on her desk, making it known that he was interested. And so obviously the question was, well, what would it have been if someone else did it? And she immediately was like, oh, it would have just been creepy. And he was like, well, why wasn't it creepy when he did it? And she just said, oh, well, you know, he was cute and I liked him, so it was okay. So that's the situation that we're faced with. And as a man, I can tell you that that is definitely a concern. It's like, how do I know when I've crossed the line? Like, what is okay? What is not okay? Mm-hmm. So for me, I can see how a lot of men say, you know what? Hey, it's better for me to just say work is in a box. Everything in this box is off limits. I don't care how excited I am about that. I'm just going to say new Hot Wheels toy in that toy box. I ain't playing with it because everything in that box is too hot. This box pays my bills. So if I mess with anything in this box, it's a possibility that it's going to stop paying my bills. I don't want nothing to do with it. Whereas these women are saying, hey, which is true, like, guys, just the culture in America, we spend most of our lives at work. So, you know, the people we are around the most are people at work. So it's kind of likely that I'm going to meet somebody or find myself interested in somebody at work.
Pretty much.
Where's the balance? How do we get there? Who's going to put these rules out there? Like, what are the rules? There has to be some rules because clearly it can go way too far, in the sexual harassment side. But what's too far in the, I'm trying to let you know I'm interested.
This is the sad part. This is very, very sad. It will always be similar to, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Unsees. I can never say his name. Unsees. I'm sorry. Damn. Comedian.
Okay.
Oof.
I got you.
So he got caught up in the Me Too movement stuff. But when a lady she wrote a piece, kind of like a blog post or whatever, and talking about the date with him. And he thought they had a good time and it was something that he liked her. She didn't have a good time. She didn't like it. The way she made it sound, it really just sounded like a bad date. And there were some choices that she made that weren't the best. Like when he suggested coming back to his apartment when she felt like she didn't have that connection with him, but she still did it anyway. And there was a point where I believe he had kissed her or there was some sort of like sexual interaction or something like that. And she felt like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this, but she didn't say anything. So it led to some stuff and it made him feel like, okay, I'm a bad guy because of course he got pulled into this. But when you read the story, of course, she felt bad and she didn't like the way it all went. But the fact that she put it as it's a Me Too movement type thing, it was like, really? I mean, there are bad dates and then there's date rape. Come on. But unfortunately, it's all being lumped together. And I think the thought behind it that she was doing is to make awareness, to be more receptive to the cues from the woman or the uncomfortableness, kind of like just like feeling the room, basically. But that's all still going to be dependent upon your actions and what you say to them. Like if you say yes, meaning no to them in some certain situations, they're not going to really understand that. But if you specifically say, I would like to be treated like this, or I would like to be doing this, there's no mixed signals or anything like that. And I understand that culture is still evolving and changing to adapt to this type of stuff. But until we get there, you do have to be more articulate in what you want and how you want stuff to happen to you. It's just like, if you go to a drive-through, you don't go in and just sit in a drive-through expecting them to bring you the order that you want. You kind of have to say, I would like a number 5. And when they ask, do you mean the meal? Roll your eyes and still say, that's what a number 5 is. So,
I think there's room here for a much broader discussion for us to really kind of nail down like what is not appropriate.
Yes.
And I don't know how you get there. Like I know some people, as I was kind of reading up on this, I've seen where people are saying like, well, if you guys are in a different department or kind of, I guess, let's say in the same career band, then there should be no issue as long as it doesn't get creepy. But again, that brings me back to that example where basically the woman who gets married to the guy that she works with says everything that he's doing, if somebody else did it, it would have just been creepy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that line is. And I agree with you. Women, men, whoever is in the position to be the one who's potentially feeling like they're being harassed, I think you're going to have to speak up. Like, I don't know. You're going to have to tell the person like, hey, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like, I think that to me, that's the solution. But that first, hey, I'm not interested can't also include, and I'm going to HR, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, because when it's that situation,
it's 0 to 60.
Yeah. There's no room for error. There's no room for, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I was just trying to put it out there. You gave it back to me. I'm just going to take it and go back to my cubicle.
Yes.
Which I think is fine, which I think can happen and should happen.
So I had a situation, and every person probably has some situation where they're just like, it's kind of creepy, where a coworker, we all have Slack at our job, and a coworker posted in one of the channels a couple of pictures of women that he had taken. Now, he was saying that he was taking the pictures of the women just out in the bout now.
Okay.
To show, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say a red flag is already going off for me. But I'm going to let you continue.
But see, I haven't even said it all, and you already going like it's a red flag.
I'm saying, man, you just taking pictures of women out and about?
Yeah. Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just came up with a rule that I was going to say. I was going to say, ladies, fellas, if you feel like it would be okay for Ryan Reynolds or for, I don't know, like who's a super attractive woman, Rihanna, to do it and you would be comfortable, maybe that's the one where you say, hey, I'm not interested. You give them that shot. Like, hey, I'm not really interested in you doing that.
I like that. That is a very good barometer. Would this be the same if it was your celebrity crush?
Yeah.
And if it is, then yes, say something. Just if you don't know, that's a good barometer.
All right. Now, see, and when I apply that to the situation you just said, if it was Ryan Reynolds or Rihanna just saying, hey,
neither one.
I'm just out and about taking random photos of women, I'd be like, I don't know about this. I'm still a little uncomfortable. So that's why my red flag went off.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. But I don't even have to continue because it's honestly so I woke up to this Slack notification and that is what it was. And it was basically one of our coworkers was like, I'm having trouble meeting women and things like that. And we're always asking him, well, what type of women do you like? And he's a younger guy. So he's like, well, I don't really know, but I know I like pretty girls, but I don't really know what I want necessarily. So when this dude, that's what got me.
I'm sorry.
I'm like,
continue. It's funny. There's some of the response, the specific response. I know I like pretty girls. Is funny. Continue.
So the other gentleman who is an older gentleman, this is the thing that gets me. He's an older gentleman. It's not like he's in his late 30s or 40s. This dude, he's up there.
Okay.
Older than that. That's
All
what
right.
I'm saying. And he's taking these pictures, posted it in the chat, and was like, so what do you think about these? No.
Yeah. See, inappropriate. A red flag. I don't know if everybody had the training I had, but we had we used the green light, yellow light, red light, sir.
That is cranberry. It is not red. It's just like, no, that is not cool. And he constantly does stuff like that. And I've had to talk to HR a few times about him.
Oh my goodness. So see, something like that, I totally understand that.
Yes.
I have no issue with that. But I go back to that example and then just thinking about how much time we actually spend at work. Like it is pretty likely that you're going to at least find somebody at work that you're attracted to. And when you shoot your shot, assuming that, you're shooting your shot in a respectful, normal, like non-creepy way, like you're not just, I got your number at the company directory. Let me send you this inappropriate picture of myself. Like, okay, obviously, sir or ma'am, whoever did that, you crossed the line. Do something normal. Just, try to introduce yourself to somebody. I don't see why there's no room for hey, sir or ma'am, I'm not interested.
I think it's a little bit different now with social media, with online. You and I grew up in a time where you had to have those types of conversations about stuff, send it in that little piece of paper with, do you like me? Yes or no type thing.
Oh, and for your friend that says he has trouble meeting women, I'm going to go ahead and let you know something that has worked for me is that note still. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm not going to lie. If I got that note now, that would be ridiculously cute. Not going to lie.
I'm just throwing that out there. Guys, dating tips, Cool Black Nerd.
You know what? We need to do a show
me?
like that.
Yes or no?
Cool Black Nerd dating tips.
You know what? As a matter of fact, let's make that the rule. Can we just do that? Can people just do that? Hey, I like you. Do you like me? Yes or no?
No? All right.
Okay, then I'm going to just take this note back, drop it in the shredder, as I walk back to my keyboard.
Keep it pushing.
Yep. I think that'd be fairly simple.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, people. We have solved the conundrum.
Yep. If Rihanna or Ryan Reynolds did it and you would be okay with it, give them a chance. Just say, hey, you're not Rihanna or Ryan Reynolds to me. I'm not interested.
And
if you are interested and you don't know how they feel, just write them a note. Hey, I think you're kind of cute. Do you like me too? Yes or no?
Oh, and it has to be written. Don't send it over email.
Hey, it got to be written. Please, don't send it over email because then that would kind of put it in red flag territory for me for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. If you're really trying to make a good impression, fold it up in them little foldy things that we used to do as kids. You know what I'm talking about? You used to have you could fold it up a certain way and you have to pull out a piece of it and then it would unfurl itself.
Millennials, Jules. No.
Hey, I'm just saying, technically we're millennials. Okay, well, millennials, you can find out how to do it on Pinterest.
Or YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Yeah, see that? You know what? Technically, as millennial as I am, I'm still that guy that's like, not YouTube is my first option. It's not.
What?
I don't know why.
Man, I have learned.
It's always option number 2 or 3 after I'm like, no, why not just look on YouTube?
That is my go-to for pretty much everything. Is it on YouTube? I learned how to do makeup on YouTube. I learned how to do podcasting on YouTube.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. YouTube wasn't up then. I'm not going to even lie. I'll take that back.
Yeah, YouTube, guys, probably still in beta.
You know what?
I'm serious. Like, you can look this up. Like, you can go see which Google products are still in beta. It's going to blow your mind. Like, Gmail is probably still in beta. The Google search engine is probably still in the beta phase. Haven't quite perfected it yet.
You see me?
I think the only thing they have that's not in beta is probably Google AdSense. they money
because that's what's making the money. Shit.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. I think that's the end of episode number 11. Episode number 11 of the Cool Black Nerd podcast.
Yes.
Sodium
is in the bag.
So keep in mind, we have the Cool Black Nerd contest or Say What Radio family contest for a Google Stadia controller and the subscription service. I'm asking a question.
We're going to do subscription service right now and controller. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. So as you can see, it went from, the first part of the beta. We are entering the full stage because we just added that subscription to it. Still in beta, though. We have the Cool Black Nerd podcast rules of engagement at work. Also still in beta. I want you guys to discuss that. Send us emails, reviews. Hit us up on our social media. Say What Radio, Cool Black Nerd podcast. Let us know what you think. Hit us up with any questions that you guys may have. And we out.